I think we all just witnessed Olivia Wilde break down for the whole world to see. This feels like one big tantrum. You might say the paranoid delusions of a spoiled Hollywood feminist, even. The messages are clear, and by the end of the movie, they're so cringy, I couldn't help but giggle, laugh in pain. But let's go over a little bit. What does this movie believe? It believes that all men conspire together in some secret cabal to brainwash women into doing what the men want, which is, in turn, being housewives and raising families in a nice, clean neighborhood. That's a horror movie to the modern feminist. She even goes out of her way, in lieu of promoting this movie. She mentions how Jordan Peterson was the inspiration for Chris Pines' character. He's the leader of the incels, apparently. And towards the end of this movie, spoiler alert, don't watch this movie, do not waste your time, that's why I watched it for you. Harry Styles' character is actually... This all takes place in the modern world. Don't be deceived by the 1950s aesthetic or whatever's going on here. They're just using a high-tech virtual reality piece of equipment that goes over the eyeball after the husband signs up for a program, and he drugs his wife and then ties her down and then puts goggles over her eyes and turns her into pretty much a robot living in a dream where I don't know how he feeds her and keeps her alive, but there's just one shot of him like dripping water into her mouth to keep her from, I guess, dying in the real world. It makes no sense. This movie is retarded. Anyways, what else does this movie believe? It believes men are incels and can't get a woman to be a housewife without brainwashing her. To be frank, that's what this movie believes. It believes women are harder working than men, too. It shows Florence's character working a 30-hour shift as a nurse and then coming home to no food being made and a complaining deadbeat husband who was watching conspiracy videos, aka Jordan Peterson, online all day and just giving her trash the second she walks in the door. She can't take it, she's exhausted, she's miserable, but yet, when he points this out later in the movie as to why he sort of trapped the couple into this suburban 1950s bubble of a life, he even points out that she wasn't happy in the real life, and she doesn't argue against it. She just shakes her head, no. She's not happy. She's working overtime. He's not working much at all. I mean, it's kind of a humble brag, too, how Olivia Wilde acknowledges that women are graduating college and making more money than the average man these days. They took her jobs, you know what I'm saying? But yet, she can't prove in the movie that Florence's character, Alice, was actually happier doing that than she was in this virtual reality world. So it makes an argument against, sort of, if you want to call it an argument, it makes a case against the modern man, the struggling man who, the incel, who can't seem to find a non-feminist woman out there in the world. But it doesn't make a pro-argument case for why feminism is good and why these women are actually happier and liberated doing what they're doing, working 30-hour shifts, yada yada. It's half of a movie. It's not even a movie, it's an episode of The Twilight Zone. This should have been condensed into a 45-minute long, little cool little hour on TV or something, with some commercials. That's all this deserved. It believes that women can't be happy. Being a housewife and having kids, you just can't be happy. There's just no way. Even though Olivia Wilde's character says she chose it. So it does acknowledge that some women might want that, but no, it's a horror story if you're forced to do it. But who's being forced to do that? Think about it. This is just one big commentary. This is not an entertaining movie. It's one big lecture, but it can't even support itself. And back to what, the movie pretty much saying that women are harder working than men, and that men have to resort to, mischievous, brainwashing, propagandic tools to appear as if they're hardworking and contributing to society. There's a comment that Olivia Wilde's character makes early in the movie where she's like, yeah, men are just playing with their toys. Hey, at least it's how we know they're getting something done. Yeah. Building highways, building skyscrapers, building iPhones, technology that makes your social media lives convenient. That's just men playing with toys, not providing conveniences and tools to make the modern person's life easier. No, it's not that. You're just playing with toys and goofing off. That's all men do. It also implies, the film, that men resort to gaslighting when they feel insecure in a relationship. Yeah, it's men that are doing the gaslighting these days. In a moment of sheer transparency. I don't know if you guys even know who Jordan Peterson is, or if you read his book, 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos. It was a really good read. Read it. At the beginning of the movie, Chris Pine's character, who's based off Jordan Peterson, he asks them, what is the antidote to progress? Chaos. So his vision is progress, and that chaos is bad, and we need to stomp out chaos in order to achieve progress. So what, the movie is saying chaos is good? And that order and beauty and control over one's life and emotions is bad? What the hell is this movie trying to say? It doesn't even know. It just feels like one big Olivia Wilde projection on the screen, no pun intended. You know, if women want to work for a living to make themselves happy, if they want to work for the man, if they want to work for employers their entire lives, and not, you know, do what women have done forever, which is to raise the next generation of people on this planet that we're so gracious to have inherited thanks to our ancestors. I just don't understand this movie. Face was in the palm. Face palm. In the last 20 minutes, I was laughing out loud. Luckily, it was a matinee showing, and there was no one in there. It was, I sped out of the theater the second the credits started rolling. And of course, you know, she ends up killing her husband on accident. When the men die in the virtual reality, they die in real life. And the men are the only people that can, like, they're the only ones that can set up their wives in the virtual reality system and make it so that they enter the world. So with him dead, no one's there to make sure that she re-enters the simulation, which means she's going to leave and re-enter the real world, and she's going to rat. She's going to spoil everything for him. It's so dumb. So what are they implying? That only men can die in the virtual reality world? In victory, as they call it, but not women? When they die there, they just wake up? What? They don't even get into that. I would be more interested in, like, the technology, the cool little eye kit that they use that scans the eye, the retina, puts them into this alternate world, this brainwashing world. I'm more interested in that whole side of the movie, but they're not. They're interested in the societal implications. It's like she made this for Jordan Peterson. She made this just for him. So I hope she's happy, because this movie is embarrassing, to say the least. She is not a writer. She's not a director. She's not even a good actress. She's a bug-eyed, paranoid freak who has enough money to make a project like this happen somehow. This is the world we're living in. These are the projects that we're seeing being funded. Absolute crazy. I will give one pro to this movie, and that's that throughout there's the foreshadowing of the symbolism of the eye. There's a lot of eye imagery, you know, retinas, pupils dilating and contracting, and circular images. Even the town of Victory is this one big sort of eye. And then at the end, it's revealed that that's how they're in the world in the first place, is the laser scan over the eye. So that was interesting. That was kind of cool. I liked that. She had a little bit of setup and payoff there, but that's about it. Trash film. Don't watch it.